Hey guys, how's it going? This is rexfurry here, back with another tutorial, and today we're going to be going over a revised tutorial that I did a couple years back, and that was how to make cutscenes within Game Maker. So, basically, why I'm going to be doing this tutorial today, or revising as I said earlier, is because if you go look at that tutorial from like years later, I'm probably not going to link to this, you guys probably have to find it, because there really is no reason to actually link to this video, considering this is a revision, but it's basically kind of old, actually really old, and it just took forever, and the explanation, the whole kind of efficiency on it just wasn't really where it needed to be. So anyway, I'm going to go and do a revision of that today, as well as a revision of a couple other tutorials in future videos, just to kind of prep you guys, if you guys are long-term viewers of the rexfurry channel and such. But nonetheless, that's what we're going to be doing today, and everything's going to be the same, just more kind of efficient tutorial-wise, so yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Keep it original to go tutorial. The first thing you want to go and do when starting up the tutorial, if you haven't already, make sure advanced mode is turned on. And how you know it's turned on is there will be this little black check mark right next to where it says advanced mode. If I go and click that now, you notice all my stuff goes away. And if I go and click it again, boom, I get all my options back. And basically the program is now running advanced mode, which makes it so it's fully functional with all the options and stuff. So that's pretty much what that does, in case you guys are wondering. Alright, so to do this tutorial today, we're going to go and be using timelines, and for those of you guys who, again, are unfamiliar or new to the program in Game Maker, timelines are basically like clocks, I guess, in that when the hand hits a certain number on the clock, a certain event is going to go ahead and happen. So, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and firstly rename this timeline cutscene, and you don't have to do this, but I like to do it for just organization's sake, because I'm an organizer kind of guy, when it comes to programming and stuff, at least. In real life, I guess I'm kind of organizational, but anyway, that's besides the point. So what we're going to go and do is, for those of you guys who are familiar with timelines, you guys probably already know how this all works, but I'm going to go over it just a little bit more for those of you guys who are new, so just kind of beware of that. But what we're going to go and do is create a new sprite, because obviously you can't have a cutscene without something to actually, I guess, work within that cutscene. So I'm going to create a 32 by 32 sprite. Simple black blocks will do, or box, excuse me, not blocks, the blocks will do. Go ahead and create an object out of it as well, and there we go. Alright, so you don't want to really do anything in the object itself, because we're all going to do it inside this timeline right here that we're creating right now, and then we're just going to apply it to our object, and you'll see how that all works later. So, for now, what we're going to go and do is go add, and the kind of mandatory steps for creating a timeline itself are very similar to this as well. This works for other things besides cutscenes, but you know, you guys can of course have time to explore that on your own later on. So we're going to go ahead and where it says indicate the moment, we're going to start off at 0. And again, this is pretty mandatory for creating timelines in Game Maker as well, because 0 is just something nice to start out with and simple to keep track of. So what we're going to go and do is, if you guys don't understand this right now, don't worry, because I will explain it in just a moment as we kind of start to go on here. So, we're going to create a very simple cutscene here, and as I said before, that you can get very advanced in timelines, but for now what we're going to go and do is make this block go up and down. Okay, that's all we're going to do in our little cutscene here. We're going to make it loop as well, so it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? And how we're going to do this is on step 0, this is our very beginning. So basically, when the timeline very first starts out, we're going to go into the Move tab if you're not there already, and click and drag over a Move Fixed action, and go and click on the down arrow, and put it at speed of 3 should be nice for now. Alright, so now what we want to do is that we've specified what's going to happen as soon as this timeline is activated. We're going to go ahead and go add again and indicate the moment. We're going to go moment 10, because steps in Game Maker are really fast. They're like a half a second or so. I forgot how long exactly they are, but they are very fast. So 10 steps is like, I think it's like maybe, I don't know, half a second or something. So, something along the lines of the secondary stuff. So what we're going to go and do now is in Game Maker, excuse me, you have to specify, at least for timelines, you have to specify everything that you want the timeline to do. So this means we're going to go and drag over Move Fixed. On step 10, although we want our character, our little cube guy, to go back upward, we need to make it so he first goes down, he stops, and then he goes upward. And if you were to actually just go ahead and go like this and go speed of 3 and hit OK, and so we have down, and then we have up. Basically what would happen is you would go down, up, 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 and then you keep doing that until we got to the very end of the screen, and just keep doing that. So what we have to go and do is click and drag, actually, I'm going to do it right here, take off that arrow, and go the null arrow. or none arrow, I guess, at a speed of, oops, 0. There we go. And then we can go ahead and click and drag over move fixed, hit the up arrow, and then go speed of 3. There we go. And one more thing we have to do as well is go add, and let's go indicate 20, just so we keep everything in a nice pattern here. And again, the move fixed action we're going to be using on this little thing here. And want to just simply stop it. Just so, because it's going to loop, it's going to go downwards. And then it's going to stop. And then it's going to go upwards. And then it's going to stop. And because it's going to loop and start over, it's going to go downwards, and it's going to repeat the process over and over and over again. So that is the basics of timelines and the basics of creating a cutscene. As you guys can see, you guys can get very complex in this because you do have all the options that are available to you in a regular object, as well as code and such like that. So there's just limitless possibilities in what you could do. So that is the timeline. That's a little cutscene right there. Now what we need to do is apply it to a certain object. Now keep in mind you can also apply this to things without a sprite and just make them like a controller or whatever, but for now I'm just going to apply it straight to a sprite just to give you guys a good idea of how this basically works. Now you can apply it to stuff. So we're going to add event, and just something simple like create. So when this object is created in the game, I'm going to go to main 2 and click and drag over here where it says set timeline. Alright, and for the timeline, we're going to go and choose our cutscene timeline. And position, we're just going to leave it 0 for now because it doesn't really matter what we set it to, because that's basically just setting the position of where we want it, and you guys can kind of delve in that on your own. So, same thing with the start. You can either have start immediately or don't start, but I'm just going to keep start immediately. And for loop, as I said earlier, I'm going to go to loop because I want it to restart as soon as it gets to the very end. And so it just keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. If you didn't want to do that, you can go ahead and just go don't loop. But for now, I'm just going to keep it to loop. Alright, hit OK. OK. And create a simple room to put your object in. Alright, that'll do. And that is all that we need to do here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and run the game and show you guys the end product. And other than that, that is how to make cutscenes in GameMaker using timelines. Very simple, but at the same time, very complex if you think about it. You can get very advanced with this and cool stuff like that. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and, as I said, run the game and show you guys the end result. So I will see you guys back here in just a moment. Alright, and we are back here. As you guys can see, we have this little character that we create here. Not necessarily a character, more like just a black cube. And he's just going up and down, up and down, up and down, following that timeline, that cutscene timeline that we specified earlier, very precisely, very nicely, and overall, a very nice intro to creating cutscenes in GameMaker. So, hopefully this was easy enough for you guys. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much as I did in my last tutorial and stuff like that. Hopefully it went as well as I hoped it would. And, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So feel free to comment, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. I don't want to take too long on this because I've already showed you guys what you need to know. So you guys can go on and make your own cutscenes. So hopefully you guys have fun with that. And I guess that's pretty much it. So this has been rexfurry, guys. And as always, I will see you all next video.